just kill them over and over again when you got a bounty hunter who's giving you track gold all the time.
Yeah, I just feel like the way Liquid played last game was so clean that they're not going to give you those kills. That's what I'm kind of concerned about, I guess. I think if they get a little bit out of position, even just a tad bit of sloppiness, like, it's going to get punished by Viking GG. Their lineup's completely capable. Like, even though we saw what we saw last game, they are a very good team. Like, I'm just saying, I think it's kind of more so on Liquid to mess up than it is for Viking GG to, like, I think if both teams make the right plays, Liquid will win this game. That's what I feel like.
And I think if both teams do make some pretty big errors, there's a chance that Liquid still win off of their big team fight. We may have a first blood with Aramis, wrap it around, but Boxy did level Crush very early on to be able to get the bounty rune, so he'll use it a second time to ensure Insania stays up. And Adam, they're actually going to be putting Taiga in the safe lane here because Lone Druid really doesn't need a support, especially against a Beastmaster. He's got a great way to deal with boars, and that's bears.
It looks like he
that
actually
one,
started sacrificing in the mid lane. He used his first idol on conversion to give Mickey a little bit of a boost. I think against a hero like SF, whose level 2 is super important, that's a very good choice. I like that distribution of resources there. As Insania does go down. Pretty impossible lane down here for Liquid. 2v3. Both of them, I'd say more so the Crystal Maiden, are going to be likely to get picked on. But they do have to pull now. The lane's pushing in. I don't think Boxy's really upset with this. I feel like if my support feeds and the lane's just pushing into my tower, I'm like, okay, maybe we didn't have to do that, but I'm going to farm these creeps now.
I guess that's something I'll keep in mind if you ever get to Europe and we end up queuing together. It's okay for me to feed as long as you're getting farm, right, Brian?
Yeah, you're just going to keep rubbing it in, huh? That you're...
Believe me, Brian, I'm enjoying the EU pubs. They're great here. I've already won one game.
Totally, man, yeah.
It's most I've won in 2021, so, you know.
It's all about beating your own personal best.
Yeah, I'm surprised this lane was able to push in so much. And as a result, Boxy is going to be able to get level 2. I guess Aramis, you feel like this is a better plan for him being in this tri-lane situation than just running around and messing with the Enigma?
I honestly don't know. I feel like he's not going to ever pressure the Lone Druid. So like you said, it's kind of more so about pressuring the Enigma. But what I've seen a lot of these like quote-unquote 5-position Enigmas doing is it's not like the old days where you saw the off-lane Enigma who would be like jungling camps after sacrificing a creep. They usually just play the lane like he is here with Malefice. Malefice actually is a pretty good ability now, level 1. It's 120 damage, not too bad at all. And they kind of just deny a creep every now and then.
Yeah, I've even seen them like a Jakiro, you know, just get level 2 dual breath. Same with the Enigma, right? I've seen them level up that Malefice just for being able to play the lane a little bit better.
All you need is a carry that eventually functions independently. It's nothing like a Drow, you know, nothing that wants your help. And Lone Druid, as we saw last game, he is very content to just kind of farm on his own for a long period of time. So Enigma will eventually be able to bail and get what he wants for his own farm, because Enigma, albeit being played in the safe lane, is a hero that requires farm to be effective.
Well, it seems like Aramis is going to be hanging out here, and we'll see how effective he is against this dual lane. But as you said, probably not going to be able to pressure that Lone Druid at all. Might be able to mess with Taiga's head a bit, but he did enough to be able to give Shad an early level lead, which is probably something you want. The early levels of Riki maybe would be a bit pressured by Slardar.
It looks like mid lane's about even. I have to imagine that's in favor of SF for now. We're all about this famous 50-50. Which mid laner is going to win the lane now? Looks like Mickey has chosen heads, and it has landed.
I like how nowadays mid laners don't even do the choosing. You know, their supports do the choosing for them, and they just kind of babysit the rune.
Hey man, anything we can get those supports to do for us, why would we do it ourselves?
True.
We're busy getting gold, man.
He's getting a little bit low, but he does have a healing salve and 7 stick charges. One thing that's kind of annoying about this matchup is the fact that Slardar, his sprint is actually dispellable. So against Oracle, you pop sprint at the wrong time, you can actually get that killed, but that's something to worry about.
It's weird. I feel like Oracle's really good against Slardar if his carry offers a lot of damage in the lane, like a troll or something like that. The Ricky's pretty lackluster for damage at this stage in the game, so even though you can purge a sprint, he can kind of hold on to it for when he wants to. As you saw, he waited until after Celery used the Dispel on himself and ended up chasing him down. I feel like this is a really nice lane for Slardar, as we also see Enigma biting the dust top. And a 1-for-1 trade. Quakefa's even happier now because his support died before the opponent died.
And he got the root, so he might get the kill as well. He does.
Oh
Double
my
kill.
God.
That was great. They tried to punish Taiga for moving forward and using his Eidolons to kill one of the boars. And instead, Quakefa walks away with double kill.
Boxy might be in some trouble.
Got some stick charges. The Purifying Flames will heal him up a little bit more with the shared Tango. Boxy's going to look to continue to play the lane, but another round of Fortune's End and Purifying Flames might actually end up going down. That's really, I'm saying that hopefully for Viking GG's chances, just because I feel like that other side lane's not going so hot, so we kind of want this one to win. Mid's going fine, though. It's an even trade-off, 46-2 versus 45-4. Boom's just going to be doing that whole double raise into farming neutral thing over and over again, so.
There's no way he wants to contest the lane. Mickey has that bottled DD. Is he going to try to get something done with it? Looks like he's moseying towards the jungle. That's twice as much damage on creeps, my friend. And he's not popping it, though, so a little bit more disciplined than I.
It's going to save it where, he actually needs it. Nice thing about Boom is he doesn't have to worry about supports rotating on him, really, right? They got a Crystal Maiden and an Enigma. So it's not like he's going to be found while he's doing all this jungling as well, so. Toby being chased down. Meanwhile, the bottom lane, they're going to go for it. They do manage to hit that bash up onto the Riki. He's going to be disarmed, though, by the Oracle. Just another way where you can counter that Slardar with Oracle, but at the same time, they do lose Toby in the top lane.
Yeah, Beastmaster's a feast or famine offlaner, man. He either snowballs and takes your tower, or it feels like he kind of just ends up being a creep for a little while. And he's chosen the latter this game. Maybe not chosen, but he's had it thrust upon him by Quakefa and Taiga.
Aramis is going to join this bottom lane. Insania was a little bit far forward there. Gets caught by the Fortune's End. He's certainly dead, but if they can get the trade-off here to get Shad, it would be well worth it, but Boxy wasn't able to get quite enough damage. Maybe Mickey, he saw him blink away, but he's already used the illusory orb. He's going to have to guess if he wants to be able to find him. I was kind of hyped to see Mickey just kind of blind throw it out and see if he catches anybody.
I feel like that 10-second cooldown nerf on Puck's coil actually added up a lot. It's surprisingly long in regards to the willingness to kind of just chuck out the ability, you know? Going from 70 to 80.
Yeah. I mean,
Boom looking to help take a stack, I think top there is what just happened. He rotated for that.
It was hard camp stacked up. Same thing was on the other side of things. Mickey is currently clearing through that, so pretty much these mid laners are having mirror performances all around. Both of them push out the mid lane, then go and farm some jungle creeps. Mickey is not trying to like force moves too much. He's really making sure he keeps up and does finally find his opportunity to catch Shad here inside the coil. And there it is. Finally gets his first big rotation kill.
I want this to be a note to everyone watching, because I've seen it a couple times now and I love it, is when Puck is on a team and it feels like the rest of the team doesn't have that much damage early. Slardar is kind of mediocre at damage right now. Lone Druid's not really going to be there. Enigma, pretty light on damage. They just go for this early earn. Gives you that extra bit of tick of magic that, it's kind of like the Witchblade, right? But it's only 800 gold, so it's a little bit It's like a budget version, and it just shows that like that Ricky getting that little extra tick of damage really makes the difference. And I love to see it. It enables you to rotate as Mickey is right now, and this is the key when you have this position 5 quote-unquote Enigma, who's now soaking the mid lane level 6, 9.5 minutes in, is that Mickey runs around the map just like this, fighting with his Crystal Maiden, getting a kill on the Bounty Hunter, might be queuing up a kill on Boom.
Yeah, Boom. He needs to be able to get off the Requiem right now if he wants to be able to get away from this. He kind of pushes Mickey in and managed to catch him with the Requiem. I think he was holding on to that for a little bit. He could have popped it sooner, but I think he really wanted to bait in Mickey more and more and more, as he had wand charges and a range drop. So nicely played by him. They get a really big kill on Mickey, who's been kind of terrorizing this bottom lane. Shad is going to take a bit of damage from Boxy, but he's got Celery, who's level 6 behind him.
I feel like Mickey kind of baited himself there, thinking he was going to get his orb off in time before the SF ulti, but he didn't.
Barely gets saved in time by the false promise. He's got to be careful. That bash to the deep, that's a hefty amount of burst.
Yeah, top tower dying to Koikfa. If Liquid can hold mid, which it looks like they are.
Beautiful coil, and they cannot stop a 3-man black hole. Toby gonna limp away, thought about going for the Primal Roar. Mickey's gonna knight him, even that with a phase shift. And now they go from almost taking top tower to definitely taking mid tower.
Yeah, Koikfa knows it's his job to kind of just show up to the party in order to cap, like basically make the kills mean something, right? Yeah, the Eidolons are decent damage, but as you see here on the replay, beautiful black hole by Taiga. Beastmaster wasn't able to get his roar off in time beforehand, and with Beastmaster momentum based, Lone Druid momentum based, those type of plays might just decide the game, because suddenly we're at a 3k net worth lead for Liquid. Kind of similar to last game, it feels like. Both teams had a pretty good start. Liquid just kind of outmaneuvers them from like 6 to 10 minutes into the game, and suddenly we find ourselves with a pretty large advantage with not a massive kill advantage.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
This Liquid squad,
Structures are fortified.
people have been calling them a little bit hit and miss at times, but they have placed top 6 in every single tournament they played since ESL 1 Los Angeles, including a win at ESL 1 Germany, which is the biggest win that this this team rather. It's the biggest win they've had to date since coming into the Dota2 scene.
Koikfa just making sure he does his chores for the day.
Yeah.
Just cleaning up the Radiant side of the map here.
It's just the equivalent of like mowing your lawn, cleaning out the gutters.
It really is, but I think he gets off on it in a sick way. I do not understand any Lone Druid player ever.
No, nobody needs to nag Koikfa to do his chores. He's fully embracing it. He wants to be able to do it. Maybe it's a good opportunity for him to take off his shirt and show off his muscles in the sun.
Yeah, maybe a shirtless round of ping pong as well, because he is quite the ping pong player.
That's true. Insane.
Looks like Boxy might be rushing a blink, maybe? He's got 1,500 gold saved up.
Okay.
Hasn't queued anything up just yet, though.
coming in, Beastmaster. Takes a while to be able to get into that outpost, but he finally arrives and does manage to kill the Crystal Maiden with a Primal Roar. Does mean they have nothing left in the tank to be able to kill Koikfa, and if anything, Koikfa could be killing Aramis here with Boxy coming into the other side. Celery's going to make sure he's not going to die so easily, though. Gets off his ultimate, heals him up a little bit, but now it's Celery who's going to be in trouble as the Bear finally does get the ensnare he needs. And with the rest of Liquid filtering in, Viking GG quick to retreat, which means they've got 2 cores in their safe lane. Brian, I know you don't like this. It's something about, what is dead lane? Is that what
I would more highlight that one team has 2 cores farming the dead lane, and the other team's got a position for Enigma farming the dead lane, all by him lonesome, getting all the money he could ever want. And that's not the map orientation that you want to have. It's not saying that Viking GG is bad, right? I think it's more so portraying the desperation levels that we are quickly reaching with their map. This is the exact concern I had when they last picked this Ricky. The fact is, if you guys want to punish this hero, it may be a lot more difficult in pubs, But the fact is, he does nothing for like the first 14 minutes of the game. Like he just doesn't do anything. He's not even close to his Battle Fury. He's not gonna, like, during the time that he's building up this Battle Fury, maybe he'll show up to a fight or two. It's not like he does no damage or anything. But like, if you look at him, he's not gonna rapidly clear this jungle camp. He's not gonna put pressure on the bottom tower. Like, they don't have to respond to anything he does. So it's kind of like you're creating space for this anti-mage type hero, but they don't actually become a tower hitter ever. That's kind of the problem with Riki. That's his only weakness. If you ignore that part, he's completely broken. So, I don't know if that's something punishable in pubs, though. As we do see a smoke from Liquid coming out with the boxy blink. Hands him the dust as well on Insania.
Radiant are scanning.
Seems like they're just taking your idea and running with it. Just keep the pressure up on Viking GG. His Blink Dagger choice, just extra opportunities to start fights. Get in the face of the enemy. They're going to get on top of Celery here. Now, Boxy's going to quickly get turned around here. Primal Roar plus the Requiem. He's going to go down, and nobody actually falls on the side of Viking GG. Liquid are still going to be able to force Viking to retreat to their own side of the map. Not able to actually do anything with that kill, take any objectives or anything like that, because they're simply just not strong enough. In fact, Toby is not trying to level up that Necrobook anymore. He's going to go for a blink himself.
Yeah, what I mean by like Riki not doing anything at this stage in the game is if he was like a Jug or a Troll or even a Lone Druid, right? Then Liquid would have to respond to bottom lane. They'd have to have somebody go defend that lane. Instead, they can be like, okay, Viking GG doesn't have any abilities. Let's just walk into road. Yeah. So it may have looked like a kill that went in favor of Viking GG, but Liquid is actually going to turn it back on them and say, hey, we're now going to take the objective we were near just because you used all your stuff to kill our guy before. And he's back alive.
Yeah, Requiem is their only, like, big team fight AoE ability. Everything else they have is real single targets, so this fight around the pit, it's going to be a bit dicey, especially with Mickey coming in. Managed to get the two-man coil with the freezing field next to it, but he actually dies. He tries to get out of the smoke screen. A shuriken cuts him down. That was not the worst thing for Viking GG, but it still doesn't win them this Roshan fight, as they are still trying to stall out the buyback from Celery, so he's still going to be able to rejoin them here. And he has his ultimate as well. Boom's just going to try and throw some damage in the pit, scare them away. He cannot afford to let Liquid get this Aegis.
Yeah, this is the fight me Roshan. They actually are doing this in order to force a reaction from Viking. They do have the Blink Dagger on Taiga as well. That is a super farmed Enigma, actually more farmed than his offlane, or something we actually mentioned in the first game, where sometimes they kind of just demote Boxy just purely based on Taiga's hero pool. Enigma, one of the best supports in the game, if not the best, to get these early items up on. And they smoke again on Liquid.
Smoke is going to be broken immediately. Aramis positioning himself, knowing that the enemy team very likely is going to try and force something here. Aramis gets a little bit low from Boxy, but it's going to be saved by the Oracle. Oh no, boom! He popped his BKB there. And he's going to go for the Requiem just to be able to kill Insania, but similar to that kill earlier, they've now used their big teamfight ability, just get one small pick off. Boom's going to have to break this coil and keep on running up to the triangle. He's going to turn around, throw some damage out there, see if they can kill the bear. Toby gets a little bit low, but is saved by Celery. He should heal up a decent amount here. The Koifa bear is going to die to the Necronomicon. He's got another one, though. Toby, he doesn't heal much at all. In fact, he immediately gets bursted down by Boxy, who now blinks forward, looking for a little bit more. Boom. With the Corrosive Haze on him, Mickey is pumping out the damage with that Witch's Blade, plus treads and 2 double null tally. That is a right-click build. He will manage to kill the SF, but Shad's going to die. But a black hole with the freezing field, in turn, is going to wipe the last remaining member of Viking GG, and Liquid have finally secured themselves that Roshan.
Dude, they played that fight so well. Mickey, illusory orb through the entire team and actually came out the back with his haste rune and just forced them to basically chase him into this weird choke point. And Slardar, I mean, that hero thrives on just chasing people down one at a time. And then suddenly, to wrap it all up, icing on the top of the cake, Taiga gets the one-man black hole to finish him off. I don't know. It really does look like they have Vikings' number for this series so far.
Yeah, it certainly does. It feels like a decent amount just came from the laning phase, especially this game, the Enigma being a really good answer, I think, to the Beastmaster. Because I've heard you talk about this before on your stream, Brian, where it's like, you say feast or famine, you know, this hero doesn't have a good laning phase. It doesn't recover that well.
Yeah, the thing about it for me, I've realized when I watch these games, and a big deciding factor between the best of the best and maybe like a step down is really the end of the laning phase. Like those movements you make right then and there, like, because the thing is, I think it's almost easier to make movements at maybe 20, 30 minutes into the game, because most of those movements are like 4-man movements, right? They're team fights. They're like, okay, guys, we just got to group up and go do something. But at the 7 to 10 minute mark-ish, you have to have a bunch of individuals like doing random moves on the map, you know, 2-man gank here, maybe a 2-man tower pressure here. And I feel like Liquid, every time in both of these games, have just completely dismantled Viking GG's game plan. I feel like nothing super fancy happens. Liquid wins 1 or 2 small engagements, and suddenly the game feels like completely out of control for Viking GG. As they lose their first tier 2 bottom. It was after 20 minutes, but still.
This game, it was that mid fight, right, where they managed to get the 3-man coil into the black hole and then take the mid tower from that. Last fight, I think it was the Insania rotation on the CM when they went down, and because Boxy was not happy with this lane, but then Insania shows up and they make that glyph play and actually kill the Monkey King. I felt like that was a really good turning point just shortly after the laning phase. I can see what you mean.
Yeah, it's like, the thing is, in this game especially, they make it look so easy, like, oh, they just use the 3-man coil and the 3-man hole. Like, from a spectator's view, it's like, damn, all they did was use their spells. I look at this Radiant lineup. I feel like if you get caught alone on any hero on Dire, you're just going to die, right? They have Beastmaster, Bounty Hunter, Shadow Fiend, Riki, and it just shows how, like, disciplined and close-knit Liquid has played this game. Not because I've seen anything specific, but because I haven't seen the random deaths or, like, the loss of momentum at any given point. And I said going into the game, I feel like Liquid kind of had to mess up. And based on that first game, I didn't feel like they would. And they're definitely sticking to that so far. 5-man smoke.
Boom. They kill that mid tower, and they actually glyph the creep wave, and Boom immediately runs. He knows what that glyph is. That glyph is a way to try and stall him from retreating, and they're still going to catch potentially Aramis here, who breaks that smoke and is not going to be saved by the Oracle, because the Oracle may not even be able to save himself. Going to go for the TP out, but the fear comes in just in time. The coil, however, barely missed. So only a double kill.
I was looking at the coil. That was a butt clincher for Riki there. And he's got the phase shift attacks again. And he's going to queue up the Yules this game. Thinks he needs just that little bit of survivability against the Riki Cloud.
Oh, well, Brian, I hate to say it, but it feels like we're in a very similar situation where I just don't know what Viking GG's moves really are.
I think they're a team, based on the history that I've seen them prior to this tournament, they really do bank on the momentum of that laning phase. And they look completely out of their element when they don't have, like, the game's not under their control. They're not the ones behind the wheel. And are we just going to see a rinse and repeat of last game where nothing really happens and Quakefoot kind of just hits buildings with his bear as they take a large chunk of that damage or health off of that tier 3, about 60%, as Riki farms up a storm in the top half of the map. But once again, he's not going to force anyone back because he's just a Riki. If they choose to go, they can, but more so, it looks like they just want to establish control of the opponent triangle, maybe get a D ward. They have to assume that if they don't have a ward there, that the opponent probably does. Insania already on the case. Only going to find a sentry, though.
Well, Brian, you said
the ancients.
If the Riki can get his Battle Fury Ags before they've lost a lane of barracks, then I think they win, and it's looking pretty rough. He can afford the point booster, but he still needs another 3K in order to finish up that Aghanim Scepter. And it feels like Liquid is just like one team fight, even just like one pick-off could lead them into finishing off that high ground push they started at bottom lane.
The funny thing when I watch a game like this if you don't look at the net worths, you don't look at the kill scores, and you kind of just look at indicators that like one team is winning or not. All I see is an Enigma who's farming jungle by himself bottom, a Slardar who spent the last 2 minutes killing Ancients, and a Lone Druid who's killing the other Ancients. And it's just like, you're not supposed to be able to do that, man. That's too much farm. As they then turn that into an early Slardar Ags, a hero that does not farm very fast.
No.
And, I don't know, man. Kind of just smooth sailing from here for Liquid. They don't have the Enigma on the other side, right? They don't have this surprise wombo combo, you get caught out of position, you die. They don't have that on the side of Viking GG. I don't know how Liquid botches this one. I don't know if it's possible.
Yeah, it's hard to see how he's going to get, again, their only big like team fight AoE ability is Requiem, and it's hard to see how he's possibly going to be able to do that. Boom is going for a right-click build. He's trying to build into a Daedalus right now, which is, I've seen SF versus Lone Druid, just like SF just demolishes that bear later on to the game sometimes. But right now, with a fresh AC on Koifa and the Daedalus still not complete for Boom, actually, never mind, it's here now. But either way, all that armor on that bear is still going to be very tough to fight through, especially with 3,400 HP. With the BKB on Taiga, ready to go with the Blink Dagger. That Aghanim Scepter. Oh, this is an opportunity. Mickey caught trying to push out that bottom lane. Jumps over to his Illusory Orb right into the open arms of Toby. So maybe with this is a big pickoff. They've got a full minute to do something here. Viking GG can get, I don't know, maybe they can force another fight, get another pickoff, start getting some track gold.
I would say just snowballing pickoffs is their only way to capitalize on this potentially. Just the fact that Shad, who previously, because Puck was alive, was hiding in the trees, bottom, is now like walking aggressively on the map. I think it says a lot about like the map control impact that death has. Will it surmount to like any long-term effects? We'll just have to see as a fight breaks out mid. And Bounty Hunter dying immediately, I do not think is how we envision them capitalizing.
Yeah, Liquid just played on the high ground with a sentry laid out and waited for the Bounty Hunter to try and scout some heroes out. They immediately get that kill, and playing around the high ground means they can afford to take a 4 versus 4 here as Shad is stuck inside the freezing field. Is not going to be making it out anytime soon with Taiga. Just throwing his full weight into Boom. He pops the Blink BKB Black Hole, makes sure that the other core is going to fall as well. Quickly, just like that, 4 heroes take on 5, and it's the 5 that fall. Viking GG get team wiped. 15,000 net worth lead for Liquid as they push for the high ground. GG, that's it.
Wow. Yeah, I don't really blame them here. I feel like they actually just know exactly what's going to happen because it happened to them in real time like 40 minutes ago, you know?